Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramon, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona, and I think you all know that by now. If you don't, now you know. But I'm very pumped up to have you join us today. My guest, I spent 10, 15 minutes with her. She's going to knock your socks off. But she's also going to teach you, because we dedicate this podcast exploring the idea of the servant's heart. You could be super successful or not successful and become successful just by serving. And what difference and impact you can make every day in your life, in your world. We're also going to bring guests that are going to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you. And we're going to hit all three of those today in spades. And then here's your homework today, audience. Think about how you're going to serve yourself and serve others today and what impact you're going to create today. It's doing business with a servant's heart, but it's doing business and life. You can make a change. I guarantee you, I get to wake up every morning helping somebody and serving them. It's the best feeling in the world. Think of Christmas morning. That's what I always think. And I want to thank my incredible sponsor, Pantheon. Join a community of high-income entrepreneurs and business leaders who are creating this world-changing thought leader platform to grow your business, but also impact the world. Impact, difference, change, it's everywhere. And you know, a lot of my guests are like that, but I have a top guest here who's doing that with money. Yes, truly with money, making an impact. Let's bring her on. Welcome, Catherine, to the show.
Thank you for having me. I am so excited to have this conversation and to connect with other people who literally like that whole making the impact. I mean, this is exciting. We're going to have a cool conversation.
You got a beautiful smile. So if I can make that you smile like that all the time, I am super happy. I want to jump into AI because people go, how's AI really serving me? You've got this tool or whatever we want to call it. Talk about that.
So this actually came out of a whole other thing. And again, it evolved. It wasn't like I woke up one day and said, hey, I'm going to do this. It just evolved. And what happened was I started learning AI and all the things. And I ended up through this whole process getting connected to, the book Who Not How by Dan Sullivan. Like, I believe in the who that knows how. I'm not interested in the tyranny of how. I just want to find who can do it. I plug in to get it done. Long story short, through that process, I've wrote 5 books. They're all international best-selling author books, but that's not the amazing thing. The amazing thing is that inside of every single one of my books, at the end of every chapter, the call to action is to go talk to my clone about the conversation we just had in the book. And here's why. So because I know when you're reading a book, you're like, wait, what about this? And you want to have a deeper conversation. So by having that call to action, now they can go talk to my clone, catherinebell.ai. So what that's rolled into is she literally is having hundreds of conversations every day with people and teaching them about investing and making an impact and having really profound, deep conversations with them to the point where it brings some people to tears. To other people, she can be just as sassy and fun as they are, and she'll lean in that way. But the point is that literally she's available 24/7 with all of my knowledge, all of my wisdom, all of my investments, my PPMs, like everything is there so that people get to fully get as much information as they need and get educated and even be coached inside of whatever it is. So me as a mom, right? And a wife, like, how many times have moms and wives said, oh my God, if I could just clone myself, I did it.
Amazing, amazing. Talk about time too. Founders, presidents, owners of companies that listen to this. How's that helped?
Oh my goodness. So that in itself, okay, so I have PE groups and family offices now hiring me to come in and implement this into their companies. We have an AI SWAT team. So we come in, and what's really extraordinary is that yes, it's for customers and investors and all the things, but we're also implementing it so that like all of your standard operating procedures, all of the like the culture, like how many times do our employees, how much time are they spending looking for how do we do this, who do I go to? But what if they literally had like the clone on their phone? They could literally go into it, they could talk to it or text it, and the information is right there. Like literally, there's no more like getting rid of all the resistance for them to be able to do what they need to do in the most fastest, quickest, most efficient, profitable way for them to do that in the company, because they literally can talk to the owner or the supervisor, whoever they need to be able to now get their job done as quickly as possible. Like no friction. It's all literally right there. Like how profound is that? They can get the coaching, like whatever it is, they now have access to that information in that person's voice and in that person's tonality in a way that actually matters to them, right? Because how often are leaders not available because they're doing all the things? Well, now because they can clone themselves, they're available 24/7 to their entire team and their entire customer database. I mean, the uses of this are endless.
It's amazing because ChatGPT is a universal. It's good. I mean, and
Yep,
all
that's
the
great.
Gemini are. Yeah. Hey, I'm looking for, a recipe for Gatorade. I don't know,
Right.
right? Not Gatorade. So it gives you a general rule, but you're talking about AI. That's Catherine Bell.
Literally, it's me. It's
You.
me. She has all my quirks, all my funny sayings. Like somebody back in January wished it a happy birthday, and her answer was exactly how I answer, which is I love celebrating the anniversary of my 25th birthday.
Okay.
Like it literally is me. All my quirky answers.
Yeah.
I
How
love
can people get
adventure
access
and
to
Big
this?
Bang. Like,
Yeah. How
yeah.
can people get access to this? Go
CatherineBell.ai. Just
and
type it in,
ask.
CatherineBell.ai, and there's a text, but then there's a talk. Talk to her. Actually have a two-way dialogue with her. I promise you, it'll blow your mind.
And I can ask it, how can I get the same clone for myself through that? How can I do them? Yeah.
Yep,
Okay,
she'll
very
walk you
cool.
through the whole process.
Oh my gosh. Audience, that's $1 million tip right there. We could stop the show now or not because she's got so much more to offer. CatherineBell.ai.
Yep.
Write that down, reach out to me, or we'll get her show notes. It'll get the show notes. Don't worry about that. I love. I know I just met you 15, 20 minutes ago. I love your passion for nonprofits and serving. Why did that start and what's your goal?
So I'm going to have a little bit longer answer here because it all matters. So backstory, I'm Canadian. I was born to a teenage mother, and I was in and out of more homes than you can count. Went to 13 different schools and didn't learn to read till I was in the 8th grade. But I got straight A's because I learned very quickly that they didn't want you to think, they just wanted you to get the right answer. And I'm extremely resourceful. So I got straight A's because of that. Ended up raising my brothers, got them adopted by their respective fathers, and I was headed down a pretty horrible path. And when I was 16 years old, I actually got myself adopted, and it saved my life. And from there, that this is where all of this, the rest of this answer comes from. So I was able to go on to graduate high school, go to college, travel the world, all the things. Fast forward, I married my late husband in 2001, came to the country. I was 26, had nothing. And we took his dream and we turned it into a multi-million-dollar company. So I was a millionaire by the time I was 30. So I love the American dream and whatever that looks like for people. And during that time, we discovered that we couldn't actually have babies. And so that's when we learned about the foster adopt system. So it's children who are in foster care that the parental rights have been severed, so they become adoptable. And so we ended up adopting twins, a boy and a girl. They were 4 months old when we got them. And they're now 20. My son's a US Marine serving in Japan. My daughter's floating around being 20, living her best life. And from there, we ended up selling our company in 2008, 2009. We had all our assets in one single asset class basket, which is a part of the story that I want you to pay attention to that. which is a big mistake. Multiple assets, but single asset class basket was the wrong thing. We lost everything when the economy tanked in 08 or in 2009, 2010. My husband got really, really sick at the same time. And it forced me to have to go back to work to provide for our family, because it's at that point we had essentially become homeless. And so I was working 80 hours a week and burning the candle at both ends, taking care of my sick husband, taking care of my twins. I mean, I was like, this isn't sustainable. I can't do this. So hence needing a clone. And then that's when I understood the average millionaire had 7 streams of passive income. So I was like, I got to figure this out. So the whole who, not how. So I figured out who, knew how, and I plugged in and ended up building up multiple streams of passive income. Things were getting great. Life was getting great and on track again. 2018, my husband died very tragically, leaving me a widow and a single mom overnight. And it was then that I had the greatest epiphany. And then what it was I had inadvertently created 13 streams of passive income for our family. And it allowed me to take a year off and grieve with my twins and figure out what I was going to do next. And so that's where my company was born, Titan Impact Group. So Titan is being the sentinels of the American dream. I know what that looks like. I've literally lived it multiple times over. Then impact is that I believe that we can do good and do well at the same time. So every investment that we do leaves every person, property, and community better than we found them. And I like to rent dirt and be the bank. I've done lots of different types of investments. And then group allows for families to plug in and create those massive streams of, multiple streams of passive income from the different investments that I've done of being the bank and renting dirt. Because here's why: if you don't have a minimum of 7 streams of passive income, when any of the 5 Ds hit, death, divorce, diagnosis, downsized, being dumped, literally, not only are you going to be financially devastated, along with the emotional, I mean, it just doesn't work. And so in this country at this time, financial literacy is the unfair advantage. So by bringing the financial literacy and having you understand, if you're a business owner, if you're an investor, even if you're working, like you guys, you need to understand that your earned income is meant to buy assets that provide passive income, and then your passive income pays for your lifestyle. If your earned income is paying for your lifestyle, you are completely missing the most important part. Because I promise you, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm going to talk about the hard things. The 5 Ds, some of them are going to hit, and multiple have already hit your family. Nobody's getting out of this alive. I didn't expect my husband to die as early as he did. It was devastating. I didn't expect him to get sick the way he did. But by having the financial passive income in place, it allows me to weather the current economy, all the politics that are going on, like no matter what, because the first time we weren't diversified into different asset classes. This time we're in different asset classes, and that's how I've done it, over the last 30 years of, you don't, and one of my favorite books is Keith Cunningham, The Road Less Stupid. He says, you don't have to be, he says, we don't need to be making more better decisions. We need to be making less stupid decisions. And if we just stop and slow down and think, hold on, like, what is a less stupid decision? You guys, you could be learning from all my mistakes and all the devastation that I went through. And rather than, if you want to go out and learn it on your own and go your own path, that's fine. Or you could do it the smarter way, learn from my mistakes and do it better and do it the better way, so that you literally are helping protect your family and everything that you've built. So from there, the whole impact, to answer your question and circling back around, is that I have 2 nonprofits. So my one nonprofit is called Wealthwise Women, and I have a book it's on Amazon, a best-selling author. You can go read it. It's paperback, Audible, it's all the things. And it literally walks through all the different, not all the different, a ton of different asset classes, because I want to open your mind to what's actually available to you so that you diversify. That's really important. And then we teach women and walk alongside of them to be able to invest, because get this, less than 3% of investing is done by women. But statistically, women's portfolios outperform men's. And here's why. Okay. I'll give you the science behind it. So I love men. Don't get me wrong. Like, I want you to understand this is that like men are like waffles, right? Meaning men can only focus on one thing at a time. We love that. We need laser focus. We need that. That's really important. Women, because our brain hemispheres are actually connected, we're like spaghetti. We see how all the things touch all the things. So when you bring that ability to see how all the things touch all the things, along with the laser focus, and you build an investment portfolio together like that, the two coming together, it's extraordinary what can actually happen. So it's really important for women to lean in and bring their superpower to the table, which is the who, not how, right? And people get stuck in the tyranny of how, like, how do I invest? How do I, like, stop. No, women are brilliant, brilliant networkers. You go find who already knows how, and just like sending your kids to school or the doctor or getting your car fixed, that's a who, not how. Investing is the same. You find the who's, like Steve, you and I are who's that know how to invest, and families can plug in and get the benefit from it and keep living their lives, right? So that's one of my nonprofits. And then the other one is my other one, that Bell Community Empowerment Foundation. And ties back to the very beginning, is that right now there's over 300,000 children in the US foster care system. 120,000 are available for adoption today, and people aren't aware of this. Right now, there's 2.1 million families looking to adopt. So what we do is we can get this done in our lifetime, because here's the reality. There's more than 120,000 congregations in this country who are all called to take care of orphans and widows. So if each church takes on finding one family to adopt one child, we can get this done. And why is this important? Because these children, if they are not adopted by their 18th birthday, they experience Black Trash Bag Day. And what that means is on their 18th birthday, they're handed a black trash bag. They're told to put all their belongings in it, and then they're out. 70% of the people who are homeless came out of foster care. Homeless, drugs, prostitution, being trafficked and incarcerated, costing taxpayers billions. But what if, again, my book on this is Chosen Forever, The Power of One Yes. What if you say yes to one child? And what if we have 120,000 families saying one yes? And what if 1% of those families, because of that, these children grow up to be these adults that just because they had a family just like me say, yes, I chose you, just like that family chose me, that they decide to go to make a difference in the world. That is why I do what I do. So
the answer to my question is what gets you out of bed, and that's it right there. You're the torch to lighten the way and leading the way for other people. My dad used to tell me, don't recreate the wheel, Steve. If
yes,
somebody's on the wheel, and that's what you're doing, and it's so powerful, which means anybody can do it.
Yes.
We're not we're special. I always say I'm not special like you, but we special because we take action.
Right.
But people sit in the sidelines go, oh, let Steve and Catherine do it. No, guys, go out there. Girls, go out there, do it. The worst thing you get is a no. Next.
And the thing is, you don't have to start a nonprofit. Go find a nonprofit that's already doing this and help them, right? You don't have to learn how to do all these different types of investments. Go out and find who already knows how, plug into it, get the benefit from it so you can stay on purpose with what your purpose is. Like, that's how we build this, and we do it. Like 13 streams of passive income. There's no way in the world. I was working 80 hours a week taking care of a sick husband and twins. Like, I couldn't start 13 more companies. That was just humanly not possible. Yes, I've cloned myself, but come on. I can only clone myself in a conversation, not actually doing more work. And because of that, like, again, it's the working smarter, not harder, that it allowed me to create those passive streams of income and to make the impact that I'm here to make. Like, I want you to think smarter, not harder.
That's a sizzle right there. That's a sizzle. Now, let's dive a little deeper in the who, not how, because it's important. But there's the mentorship part. I know you're a mentor. I love mentoring. How important is a mentor for all these people that you're talking to right now?
Mentoring is critical. Now, I have some opinions about this. So here's my opinions, because I've had mentors. I've had crappy mentors and amazing mentors, but they come down to me, right? Me. So first of all, my first thing is, what is the outcome that I'm looking for from the mentor? I need to be crystal clear before I go find that mentor. And when people come to me and ask me to coach and mentor them, it's my number one question. What's the outcome you want? Like, we both need to know, and it needs to be measurable. If it's not measurable, what are we doing? Like, stop wasting your time. All right. That's a really big pet peeve of mine. Second thing, whatever you're being mentored in, my number one question is when I'm going to look for a mentor or a coach, what is your main source of income? Is it in the thing that you're mentoring me on, or is it because you have a training program that you're going to sell me? You get that?
Oh, yeah.
So if you're not making your money your main source of revenue, and a huge amount of your revenue is coming from the thing that you're actually teaching me about, but it's coming from a stupid course that you're selling me because you're not actually doing the thing, like, that occurs as out of integrity for me.
Yeah.
So that's a really big piece that I share with people, because it seems like everybody out there's got courses, but I'm like, so if you actually, do you do this thing? Is that where you're like, no, that's a really, and then the third thing, which is really important, is I always want to talk to 3 people that they've worked with in the last 6 to 12 months, not 20 years ago, 6 to 12 months, that commas have been added to their bank account as a direct result of that person's coaching. And I guarantee you, 97% of the people that have, like, had these coaching programs couldn't let me talk to 3 people. 3, that's all I was asking for. So these are very quick ways, again, the road less stupid, right? Like, I had to think through how much money I had spent on these coaches only to discover they weren't doing the thing. They'd never done it before. They weren't coaching anybody. Nobody has had success with their program. Like, what the heck was I doing hiring them if I hadn't vetted them properly?
You're qualifying them, which I'm glad you're doing, and it is controversial, but you're absolutely right. If you're going to do it, mentorship's important, but the wrong mentorship could be worse off because you spent a year getting nothing. And what could you have done if you mentored or I mentored or somebody good out there? Because I did 18 months of mentoring in sales. I did learn some things, but it wasn't a great mentorship for me in that person.
Right. And that's exactly, it's like, I think one of my favorite sayings, another Steve said to me, he said, and he always said, a man with experience can never be held hostage by a man with a theory. So man, woman, whatever. So I'll say that again. So a person with experience can never be held hostage by a person with a theory.
Wow.
So whoever's mentoring you, is it experience or is it theory that they're mentoring you from? Be very clear and very discerning about that. It is your responsibility, if you're looking for a coach or a mentor, to ask the hard questions so that you literally are getting the right coaching and mentorship that's going to move the needle forward for you.
Experience, man, we could talk all day about that when we run out of time.
Right?
Because that's what I agree. I don't want mechanic to be my heart surgeon.
Right.
And people are like, oh, that's cool. You're goofy crap. No, think about it. Do you?
I read a book.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Google. Yeah. YouTube's great. I have a great YouTube. No.
I ChatGPT'd it.
Thank you for mentioning that, because that's the other thing. Don't get your experience in ChatGPT. It's a resource, not an experience. Oh my God. Audience, I get an announcement to make. I don't usually do this, but she's coming back for part 2. So if you heard part 1, you're doing it. She's coming back. We got much more to hit, and we're going to be doing some stuff together. We'll probably update on that. Let's end with, you're so fun. This is going to be a fun question to ask you. So I reserved a table at a restaurant for you. There's 3 empty chairs. There's a table of 4. Who are you going to invite, whether they're dead or alive, and what food would you order?
Oh gosh. Okay, on the spot. 3 people. So 3 people for me are Warren Buffett, Richard Branson, and Lady Diana.
Wow.
I want to know I love how they all think very, very differently. They think out of the box, but it really is about, like, listening to others, but still making an impact. And what would I order? I don't know. I have to say probably a really, really good steak dinner.
Now I'm shocked and happy at the same time. Oh my God. Oh my God, that is.
There's something magnificent about a steak that just melts in your mouth. I have to say that. I'm not a vegetarian. Like,
I just had a filet mignon that melted in my mouth 2 weeks ago.
okay, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh my God, yes. It was like I'm eating it like I was floating in air. You know what I'm talking about.
Right?
Catherine, I'm going to get emotional here a little bit because you truly are the servant's heart. You're putting it out there. You're giving. Catherine Bell AI. That's all you're. And I tell people all the time: give your stuff away for free. They're going to come back to you.
Yeah.
Always. And you're super successful, and you're doing the same thing. Thank you for being a wonderful guest. Look forward to having you back. How could people reach out to you?
CatherineBell.ai. There it is. There's my phone number right there. My company is Titan Impact Group. You can look me up on Amazon. All my books are there. Yeah, any way that I can serve, that I can help, add commas to your bank accounts, help make an impact. Like, I'm here. Let's do this.
Well, I got to thank you. And anybody puts out their phone number, and I've done that too. It's big. And audience, thank you again, Catherine. I got to thank you again. This has just been a blessing. She said service I've written down 7 times during a 20-minute conversation. What you think about how many people have said that when you're talking to them? Service, support, help. Those 3 words kind of are interchangeable. Think about that. But here, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and people are like, oh, here he goes. He wants more subscribers. They're fantastic. But here's why. Podcasts are actually a gift. And let's use Catherine's example. You're talking to a stay-at-home mom. It's a friend of yours. She's struggling. You listen to this and go, hey, Debbie, oh my God, I just listened to Catherine Bell and Steve's podcast. You got to listen. And you send her the link. And she listens or watches or both. And she goes out and reaches the CatherineBell.ai. And it changes her life. And she starts moving forward with multiple streams of income. You gave her a gift of life. I know people are like, oh my God, Steve, you say, but you did, because somebody's struggling. She's got kids. She might be a single mom, and now she's got an opportunity. But what Catherine and my guests give you is hope. And you can share that hope with others by having that servant's heart. Enough said. I want to thank, me and Catherine want to thank all of you for watching or listening to this wonderful podcast. And we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.